In its illustrious history, the ABC Masters Tournament has been won by bowling's best. Dick Hoover won 2 titles in the 50s. The pride of St. Louis, Ray Bluth, was the 1959 champion. All-time great Don Carter won his title in 61, and Billy Whaley won back-to-back titles in 64 and 65. Hall of Famer Nelson Burton Jr. won in the bicentennial year of 1976. And the smooth left-hander Earl Anthony won a title in the 70s and 80s. And in the 90s, Mike Albee has become the Masters' only 3-time winner. The 2001 ABC Masters travels to Reno, where the next chapter in this major tournament is about to be written. Next. We welcome you to the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada for the 51st Masters. Let's take a look at our 5 finalists. He's an amateur from Waterloo, Iowa, Shannon Buchan. The number 4 seed looking for his first win on the PBA Tour, Chris Hayden. The number 3 seed from San Jose, California, Tony Reyes. The number 2 seed, the 1999 Player of the Year, Bohn III. And our top seed, looking for his 10th PBA win, Jason Couch. Hello again, everybody. Along with PBA Hall of Famer Marshall Holman, I'm Ron Thulin. Marshall, it all started with 480 players with one dream, to win a major. It has come down to the final 5, and this is a tournament with great history and also a very unique format.
Well, totally unique. Unlike anything we've seen in the recent past. As you can see, 483 participants started. They bowled 10 games. They cut to the top 120. Those 120 players went for another 5 games. They cut to the top 63, plus the defending champion, Mika Koivuniemen. Then it was double elimination, 3-game matches decided by total pinfall. Here we are, down to our top 5.
Well, our top seed is Jason Couch. He already has 3 majors to his credit. Would like to add 1 more. He's having a spectacular year. He leads the PBA in just about every statistical category.
And the 2 he's most proud of are the money and 3-time titleist this year. Jason going for another major victory. The ABC Masters never won it. He's got a high backswing. He's got a lot of power, got a lot of confidence. He's got 9 titles. He'd like to get his 10th today.
Well, he's already tasted success on the tour, but our first match of the afternoon, the number 5 and 4 seed, they are yet to win. In fact, our number 5 seed is an amateur. Our number 4 seed has been on the tour a while and is yet to win.
Well, and our amateur is Shannon Buchan. Now, he's an unknown commodity, but he's a good player, and he gets comfortable the more shots he throws. Look for him to be nervous early, strong at the finish. Chris Hayden, the number 4 qualifier. He's made 3 telecasts this year, hasn't fared very well on television. He'd like to rectify that situation today.
Well, Marshall, let's take a look at the tier for today's matches. The winner of the Buchan-Hayden match will meet Tony Reyes. The winner of that taking on Bohn III. And Jason Couch will be waiting in the wing for the final match of the day. And we have a great crowd here at the stadium as our first match, Buchan and Hayden, about to get underway. Of course, this is in conjunction with the American Bowling Congress Tournament, which goes on through July and going on through February. And here's Shannon Buchan out of Waterloo, Iowa, first of all.
And I bowled in this tournament, about 6 weeks ago. Didn't fare too well. The conditions were tough.
Jitters. You know, we were talking to Shannon yesterday, and he has had a great run in this tournament. He has showed absolutely no motion, no nervousness. And we said, are you going to be nervous? He said, not really, but after the first ball, I think I might settle down.
Well, I'm surprised that he threw that great a shot to start out with. And here's a man who really has had some problems on the telecast. Chris Hayden, his first shot on lane 26.
30-year-old out of Tampa, Florida, 4th year on the tour. No PBA titles, 4 regionals.
Now he leaves the 2, the 4, the 7, and the 8 on a shot that was simply pulled.
He has had a consistent tournament. You look at the places where he finished as far as the going into the match play, you can see he only lost 2 in match play competition to Reyes and Bohn III, which might have a bearing as we head down the line if he's able to get by this first match.
Now the big match was against Ricky Ward. That's the one that secured his position on the telecast.
Tough spare.
He handled it, and he showed a little emotion. We talked about Buchan not being very emotional. Well, this man right here, Chris Hayden, very calm and sedate throughout the entire tournament.
Well, he's cashed in 5 of the 8 events, 4 top 24s. 3rd telecast this year, 4th overall. grew up in Long Island, now lives in Tampa, Florida, and there's young Shannon Buchan just waiting. And it was very interesting to watch the officials talk to Buchan about what was happening as far as the television telecast.
He asked for a re-rack, and they were having a little problem getting the pins reset. That's being taken care of in the back. The bowlers, especially with the left side, they're going to be looking at the 1 and the 2 pin to see if it's a little bit open or a little bit. Looks like the rack is to his liking, and he's up on lane 25.
Which is funny because Chris Hayden says he never takes a re-rack because of something Earl Anthony told him a few years ago. But he made good.
Much better projection down the lane for Hayden, delaying the roll on the ball.
Well, he said that Earl Anthony said he didn't think anyone is that good that can tell if they're going to strike or not. That's why no re-racks.
You could see that ball thrown further down the lane, making the move into the 1-2 pocket. Ball catches the side of that 5 pin and throws it off to the right.
Here's young Shannon Buchan, 27-year-old. He was light in practice, something you brought out just a few moments ago.
That moved a little further inside. He comes in high and leaves the 6 pin.
And his road to the final, 8-2 in match play. Big wins over Norm Duke and Mark Scroggins.
And as you can see, he lost his first match to Steel Smith, which put him in the loser's bracket and made him become just a bowling machine to get there. Had to do a lot of matches to make it to the top 5.
Well, the youngster who has 300 games to his credit, a remarkable number, and 21 800 series.
He told me he bowled his last 300 game a couple weeks ago. I guess he probably bowls one every few weeks.
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Because he's not that old. The final roll-off yesterday with Ricky Ward led him by 12 pins going into the final game of a 3-set game. Start out with 7 strikes. Showed no nervousness in it.
Coming in high again, leaving the 6 and the 10. Now this spare can be made. Needs to get the ball to the right of the 6 pin. Throw it into the 7.
Well, one of the things he's been successful at this week, Marshall, is making these kind of shots.
Very difficult.
Not going to get it.
Too far to the right. Not only does he not make the spare, but he loses an extra pin and count and falls further behind.
He's got a bulldog look on his face, and we've seen it the whole week. And now Chris Hayden trailing by 34 pins, but trying to take advantage, and we talked about it last week. Your opponent has an open frame. You've got to jump on it.
Simply another poor shot. Having trouble getting his rhythm right now.
And he said this is his favorite place to bowl. He finished 6th in this building in 1998 in the Masters. Said he has a lot of confidence coming in. See the numbers on him this year, over $60,000 in career earnings.
Should have no problem with the 2-pin spare. And he converts it. But you see, he's walking back shaking his head, and he's not pleased with his approach and his delivery on that lane 26 both times.
Would you say he's more of a feel player, not a big break type player?
Well, that's what he considers himself, as a field player. He throws his ball on the lane, watches the way it rolls, and then just sort of makes very subtle changes.
Cut the lead down to 14 pins.
Just the 6 pin. Ball coming in light. It's very easy when you're going high on one lane to come in light on the other lane. You see Hayden, his best finish for the 5th place finish in Daly City.
Also at the national championship. Has never won a match on television. He hasn't bowled all that well on TV. He's up by 3 pins.
And of the 2, he's a seasoned veteran.
That's right.
He has some experience, and it's happened, recently this year. Oh, look how nervous he is. He's yawning.
He's yawning. It's his early wake-up call today. And here's Shannon Buchan, a member of Team USA.
Continuing to come in high. He either needs to move his feet further left, project the ball further down the lane, pick up the speed. He says that his main adjustments on the lanes or with his hand position and his ball speed, he's going to have to make some.
You can see back-to-back Bowlers Journal titles in 96 and 97 for this young man. One thing you brought up as we were watching Shannon yesterday is that he did move over into the second game of the block with Ward. Moved over, I think you said, about the 15th board, and it seemed to change his fate after that.
Well, he did. He was trying to play the lanes up around the 6 or 7 board, playing on the outside trajectory, and he was having trouble getting the ball to hook up into the pocket. So he moved zones all the way from like 6-7 into 15. Very impressive adjustment.
Well, he trails now by 13 pins here in the 5th. Well, he moved over a little bit.
He made the adjustment, and now he pays the penalty, leaves the 2, the 5, and the 7. Very makeable split. Look how high the backswing is. Ball just not biting, not able to get up to the pocket. He'll need to put the ball in between the 2 and the 7 pin.
And his second open frame. Well, he left the 3rd open, and here in the 5th he leaves it open.
And interesting, you know, he struck in the first frame on lane 25, and then he splits in the 3rd and the 5th. Right now for Hayden, you know, it's a nice little bonus to be given that opportunity to pick up on your lead when you're not even throwing the ball.
And he can't take advantage of it. Is this nerves? Obviously, neither one have won an event. And it would probably be premature speculation here, but is it nerves by these young guys?
You know, of course there's some nerves going on right now. He leads a 4, 6, 7, 10. He'll go for just 2 of them. And just gets 1. I remember early in my career having a lot of trouble bowling on television, and it really was the nerves. I shot 149 my first game, and not only did I lose, but you're laughing at me. It's embarrassing. And the guys out there, they want to win, but they also want to make credible finishes.
Right.
Right now for Hayden, he just has a 10-pin lead over Buchan.
Well, we have had only 2 strikes in this match between the 2 bowlers. That is amazing.
It doesn't really look as if Hayden's getting the ball set down in the lane smoothly. His ball seems to be bouncing as it hits the lane. We see the size of our field, 483 players. Took a 202 average to make the first cut. Score's not very high.
One good thing about bowling, it doesn't matter. As long as you win it, you want to move on to the next round. But right now, Hayden and Buchan are even in our opening match. We'll continue from Reno right after this. For the 6th time in Masters history, the Masters have come to the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, to the National Bowling Stadium. Along with Marshall Holman, I'm Ron Thulin. Welcome you back to our opening match. Amateur Shannon Buchan trying to become the 5th amateur to win the Masters.
And you talk about a man making an adjustment. He made a ball change. It's a little hook more, and he moved way out to the right, getting better angle in on the pins, and what a powerful strike he just threw.
Well, he also lost his watch after he threw it. Watch it. Boom, there goes the watch.
Does he want it?
He looked down and said, forget about it.
Okay, hey, listen, 40 grand, I'll buy a new watch.
There you go. That's exactly right. And that's the first place prize check. Well, he changed the ball. A little more hook. Takes advantage. And we mentioned that he's trying to become the 5th amateur to win this event. Brian Bogosian won it back in 99. Jason Queen, 97. Steve Fair, Rick Steelsmith. Also have the name on the trophy.
What a great adjustment. Boy, I'll tell you what, coming back, that is showing a lot of character for Shannon Buchan. Ball over the 5th board, making the late break into the pocket. 10 pin's the last one to fall. You think he likes this? This man loves to bowl.
Well, that's the bulldog look we've seen throughout the week from this young man. I think he said, forget about television. I just got to get back to bowling. The challenge. You'll love to see that.
They seem to be feeding off each other's momentum or lack thereof in the early part of the match. Buchan gets up, throws a double, and now Hayden comes right back. Very critical shot for Hayden right now. Now he's having fun. Sure, Shannon.
Yeah.
Strike is a lot more fun.
That's right. Then a couple of opens. Once again, he left the 3rd and the 5th open. But right now, the two bowlers are even.
Looks like it's going to be high again. You can tell when his release goes off to the left, he always pulls the ball. You can see his release. It's going to go that way. When it goes that way, left release, right ball reaction.
Well, we saw throughout the week that it really wasn't coming through earlier this week, and if he hung it out there, it wasn't coming back. So for the most part, though, he's been able to keep it online and out of trouble.
I'll tell you, it just, when you get bad reactions on the televised pairs, just everything seems to snowball. And that seems to be what's happened to Hayden all year when he's made the telecast. Making the split.
He knew it the second and left his hand.
Another shot that he pulled to the right.
So both players with a couple of open frames here in the first round, and that's the most emotion I think we've seen from him.
Yeah, right now, Buchan has a 32-pin advantage, and we base that on the maximum score that they can bowl. Buchan certainly in the driver's seat.
Who would have thought that after the 5th? 3 in a row for the young man.
I keep saying what an adjustment, but I'm just dumbfounded by someone with this amount of experience to get there. Look at how much fun he's having. He knows he can play. The man has got some confidence.
When you look at his amateur record, it is very impressive. The 300 games, the 800 series, max score 222. He is on fire, 4 in a row.
Well, he must have seen the opening when I said he'd be nervous at the start and then start bowling better as the game progressed. He's trying to make me look good. Ball over the 6th board. Good projection out of the lane. Lofts the ball over the foul line and just stuffs it in the pocket. 1-3.
And Chris Hayden comes rolling back.
Now, and unfortunately for Chris Hayden, it's going to be too little too late. And, unfortunately, he's not able to showcase the shots, the kind of bowling that got him to the telecast. He's a fine player. They don't just say, okay, we're going to let you be in the top 5 this week. He earned his way onto this telecast.
Buchan with a sizable lead. Hayden in the 10th, leaves the 7th.
It'll be no better than 170 for Chris Hayden. He picks up the ball very quickly. In fact, so quickly he has to wait for the lane to recycle itself.
Shannon Buchan looks like he is going to go on to round number 2.
You just never know how a youngster is going to react to the television pressure, and took its toll early in this game, but boy, he's come back with a vengeance. Hayden to finish out the string. 170, the maximum score. Come on.
Very good. Chris Hayden will wrap it up as Shannon Buchan will advance to round number 2.
Once again, you can see Chris Hayden showing the emotion of someone who's just so disgusted with the way that he performed during this telecast. But he'll have other chances. That we watched Buchan in the 10th frame. Pulled that ball. He's found a nice line to the pocket. That ball was considerably left of his target.
Our winner is Shannon Buchan. Said he was so nervous last night he couldn't even eat. The nerves have left. The game has been turned on. We'll be back with match number 2 in a moment. And Shannon Buchan, the 27-year-old from Waterloo, Iowa. 201 in game number 1. That is good enough to advance him to the 2nd round to take on Tony Reyes. Let's take a look at some of the other finishers in this tournament. Ricky Ward of North Fort Myers, Florida, 5-time champion. Lost to Buchan in his last match just to miss the telecast. And finishing in 11th place, Wayne Webb from Las Vegas, the PBA Hall of Famer, former player of the year, and a strong showing this week. Tied for 13th, Pete Weber, PBA Hall of Famer. Last year, he finished in the runner-up spot. And tied for 17th, Steve Hoskins of Tarpon Springs, Florida, the former PBA Rookie of the Year. 10-time champion, still after his first win of the year. And tied for 17th, Mike Edwards of Oklahoma City, the consistent player who won his lone PBA title in 1994. Those are our Bayer other finishers. One of the goals of the ABC-WIBC is to further improve the technology of bowling. Along those lines, today's tournament features for the first time twister pins. Here's the story behind the development of all this synthetic bowling pin. When the American Bowling Congress was founded in 1895, one of the primary goals was the unification of bowling equipment. Today, the ABC, along with the Women's International Bowling Congress, continues to assure that the balls, lanes, pins, and pin setters used around the world meet stringent specifications. Over the past decade, a proliferation of new composition bowling balls have been introduced under ABC and WIBC's careful examination. In fact, more than 120 are approved annually. Several new bowling pins have also been approved by the ABC-WIBC after careful testing both in the lab and league play. Perhaps the most significant introduction was the twister pin, the first all-synthetic pin to be approved in nearly 40 years. The twister pin is the result of nearly 30 years of work by German engineer Arnold Jaeger and his company, Artemis Rubber Technologies. Although Jaeger's company deals primarily in rubber products, the twister pin is composed of all plastic materials. Before a pin is approved by ABC-WIBC, it must not only meet physical specifications and laboratory durability and performance tests, but a minimum of 1-year testing in the field, in actual sanctioned league play. If the pin performs as required, including scoring no higher than 2 pins and no lower than 3 pins against the control pin, it is then approved for all ABC-WIBC sanctioned plays. And earlier today, Arnold Jaeger presented Mike Scroggins with a trophy as the top qualifier during the qualifying rounds at the Masters. Unfortunately, Mike did not make it through match play, but he was the top qualifier. Coming up, Shannon Buchan. Will this Cinderella story continue as he takes on the number 3 seed, Tony Reyes of California? Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the American Bowling Congress Masters from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Now, let's get back to our match between Shannon Buchan and Tony Reyes. Tony is third year as a pro. Won regional title, was an All-American at San Jose State in 93-95, and was runner-up for the Collegiate Bowler of the Year also in 1995. Gotta hurry. And it does. Tony made an interesting analogy to us last night, Marshall. He was talking about bowling in his third year. He says it's like college. You know, your first year, you're figuring out what you're doing. Second year, you're working on things. When it comes your junior and senior year, you have to start bowling. And that's the way he's approaching this Masters. Says it's time to bowl. But he did say last time on television he bowled something like a 150. He said his microphone fell off. He fouled, he threw splits. He says, I got to redeem myself from that.
Now, he's a man who's going to make many telecasts and have a chance to do that on a fairly regular basis. For the double. Great shot from Reyes. Solid in the pocket on lane 25.
Big, strong, and athletic would be a way to describe Tony Reyes.
That high backswing, ball over the 10th board. Watch it hold. Stay in that pocket. The reaction of a man who knows his time is now.
Buchan not able to answer.
Now, wide open split, the 4, the 6, 7, and the 9. Can be made by either knocking the 6 pin into the 4 and the 7, or taking the 4 and trying to knock it into the 9 and the 6.
Goes it hard. My goodness. I think he thought he had it.
I thought he had it. He made the 4-pin wiggle, but did not fall over. You'll see he gets the ball to the right-hand side of that 6-pin. And he threw the ball extra hard. Bounced it over, comes out of the pit. Oh, heartbreak.
Shannon also looking at the big screen that's right in front of him up above lanes 25 and 26. And I think he saw just how close that was. 10.
Solid 10. 6-pin going around the bottom of the 10-pin. Much better delivery. Right now he's saying, okay, that was a good shot. Forgetting about the frame.
He talks to himself. He's like a linebacker almost. He's got that mentality. He goes after it. I love that.
He picks up the 10-pin, but he's 47 pins down for Tony Reyes. And Reyes right now knows his opportunity to really make it tough on Buchan comes in the 56 frame.
Tony Reyes, one of the nicest guys on the tour, throws a super ball. One thing you have to watch with Tony, because of that high back swing, his ball speed sometimes gets away from him.
He likes it. 10-pin for Reyes.
Well, his best finish this year was a third at Virginia Beach. You see he's cashed in 8 of the 9 events. He's been in the top 24 a few times.
Become a much more consistent player in the last 6 to 8 months.
He's up by 26 pins. And I think it'd be safe to say his game is really starting to come together.
Well, it is. He's got a very powerful release, and he's able to do a lot of different things with the ball, not just down and in. He can move to the left on certain conditions or throw the ball to the right and open up the lane and hook the ball a lot. Right now, he's trying to throw more of a down and in trajectory. On this particular kind of condition, you can't really let the ball get away from you too far. It wasn't one that really lent itself to the big benders throwing the ball with a lot of hook.
Plus 26. Second to Paul Fleming for Rookie of the Year back in 1999. Reyes with a strike. In the 6th, Tony Reyes knocks them all down, and his lead is at 26. Can Buchan make the comeback again? We'll find out right after this. Reno, Nevada. That is where the 51st Masters taking place. First Masters held back in 1951 in St. Paul, Minnesota. Lee Jugard, Joel Willman in that. And now this young man, Shannon Buchan of Waterloo, Iowa, trying to become the 5th amateur to win the Masters title. But he finds himself in a 26-pin hole right now. After the break in the first match, we saw him come on with a strike, threw a couple in a row.
Now, that was a very good shot there. Ronnie just left a solid 9. That's a product. It's a product of the bowling equipment today. He knows he made a great shot. Ball just drives right past the 9-pin. Sometimes these balls are so strong they just show very little respect for the pins.
Now he's down by 37. With the spare, finds himself in a hole. Tony Reyes with his wife Shannon looking on.
Got to put some pressure on it.
And that does. Any little bit helps.
Take a look at the pin action. Shannon Buchan, ball driving in late. Head pin to the sideboard. Takes care of the 4, takes care of the 7.
And here's Tony Reyes. Owns a pro shop at the Oak Ridge Lanes in San Jose. One-stop bowling shop is called. And now the one stop here is in match number 2, and he leads by 37.
Last time 10-pin on the right-hand lane. This time the 10-pin's gone. Keeps that 37-pin lead. Reyes with a max score right now of 259 for Buchan. Only 222 in the reaction. Yeah, give me that strike. That's in the pocket.
He's got that Zen patch, that soul patch working, the Phil Jackson thing on the old chin there, doesn't he?
He's got it. Right now, he's got everything working.
That's exactly right.
As you can see, the max score.
That's plus 37.
He can strike out for 259. Got to stop. He's found some room out there. Ball left off his hand. but stayed flush in the 1-3 pocket. Ball down the 10 board, holding, striking for any chance. And for Shannon Buchan, it looks like it's going to be 1 win and 1 loss.
That's a remarkable performance by this young man. I think he's probably very disappointed. But what a week he has had. He has beat some of the biggest names in bowling, came in as an unknown. Yesterday, all of a sudden, people realized he was hot, walking around going, who is this kid? He has made a name for himself. He says he wants to be on the PBA Tour probably in a couple of years. He is a name we are going to be hearing about in the future.
No, I think so. You know, he beat Norm Duke 691 to 667 in match play, and anytime you go heads up with Norm Duke in a 3-game match, you know, you're usually the underdog, and certainly Shannon was a big underdog in that match, but really handled himself very well. That's what he's looking for.
There we go. He's guaranteed about $9,500. The way things are stacking up right now, Tony Reyes.
Well, a little bit late, but still happy to make that strike, and really, this performance will help him in future events.
Tony bowling in his 3rd Masters.
And boy, to get the monkey off his back, he's never won a game on national television, and you can throw that stat away because he just crushed Buchan.
Boy, he has his work cut out for him, though, in the next match. The 1999 Player of the Year, Parker Bohn III, with over $2 million in career earnings.
Well, the power's certainly on top, with Bohn, the number 2 qualifier, and Jason Couch, the number 1 qualifier.
Well, he lost in match play to Parker Bohn. Like to rectify that. Fish one out here in the 10th. Wants to go out in style, and the ball, that pin didn't listen to us.
Well, 10 pin, still not bad.
Tony Reyes is our winner in match number 2, beating Shannon Buchan of Waterloo, Iowa. Reyes now advances against Parker Bohn. The road to the Masters title continues. Shannon Buchan won his first match, but bowled a 190 in match number 2, and it was not good enough to beat Tony Reyes of San Jose, California. His 237 has moved him into the semifinals. Once again, Shannon Buchan defeated Chris Hayden in match number 1. Buchan then fell to Tony Reyes, on number 3 seed in match number 2. They're all gunning towards Jason Couch, our number 1 seed, who's standing by right now with Marshall Holman.
Thanks, Ron. Jason, you've won 3 major titles, but never the Masters. What would it mean to you?
Very important tournament for me, Marshall. Get a big lead on the Player of the Year race, and that's what I expect to do today. I'd like to go out there and perform pretty well.
All right, now you've got a chance for your 4th title of the year. That'll also help you out for Player of the Year.
You have to keep bowling well every week to win the Player of the Year, as you know. And I've been performing well all week, and I plan to do so today. It would put a big gap in between me and the other great players out here.
Okay, Parker Bohn III, just getting ready to bowl in the semifinal match. Your record against him, not so good. How about today if you have to bowl him?
My record's been a little bad with him on TV. Yeah, you're right. But one of my majors, I beat him in it, so the 93 TPC. So I plan on beating him again for my 2nd major.
All right. He sounds confident. Back up to you, Ron.
All right, thanks a lot, Marshall Holman. Jason Couch waits in the wings for the winner of Tony Reyes, coming off a very impressive victory. He will take on Parker Bohn III. He has his picture on his ball. That match is next. And welcome back to the American Bowling Congress Masters Tournament, presented by the El Dorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus Hotels and Casinos. Once again, updating the way the tier has gone so far. Buchan losing to Tony Reyes in our last match, setting up Tony Reyes versus the number 2 seed, Parker Bohn III. Parker Bohn III, 26 titles on the PBA Tour, but surprisingly, no majors. Does that bother him?
Well, he says it doesn't, but I think that if Parker were to win today, you'd hear a little different tune from him. I think it does. I think he wants to get the first major, and then if I know Parker, and I do, he'd like to get the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th.
Well, he has bowled a 300 game in Masters competition. Did it in 1998 on television.
Message Challenger comes back, goes in front of the 7-pin. Quality opening shot for Parker Bohn III.
Parker will be 38 on July the 13th out of Jackson, New Jersey. And this is a guy that bowls, bowls, and bowls. When he comes back from a trip, I think he undoes his suitcase just so he can go bowl regional somewhere local.
Changes balls to go hard and straight. Interesting ball that Parker's throwing. It actually, it's the Parker Bohn spare ball with a picture of Parker Bohn on it. That'd be kind of scary. I wouldn't want to see a picture of me on a bowling ball.
Quite an ambassador for the PBA, and here's one of the young up-and-coming stars, Tony Reyes, just 27 years of age. Very impressive.
And I made the mistake of saying he's never won a game on national television. He has. He's won a couple of games. He just never has won a title.
That's the way to start out. Interesting approach, sort of short, choppy stuff for Tony Reyes.
Well, he does. He starts out a little bit slow and choppy, but then it becomes very fluid when he gets into his slide and release.
Great strength, too.
Got that high backswing, similar to our top seed, Jason Couch.
Once again, Reyes did have a 300 on this pair of lanes earlier this week in match play.
And our statistician, Dave Smart, told me that he was playing the lanes in a very similar fashion to the way he's playing them for today's telecast.
That's why Dave is smart.
Yeah. Got to stop. Left off the hand leads to 3 of the 9, the 10. The last thing you want to do is give Parker Bohn a break sitting down. Now this can be made. Needs to look at Reyes. The ball we just never got far enough to the right, Ron. It cuts through the heart of the pins. 6-pin, the last to fall. Needs to put the ball in between the 3 and the 10, but have enough power to drive through and get that sleeper 9.
Well, it brings up the controversy and what has been the talk of this tournament, that sometimes the left-handers have an advantage over the righties. Have the left-handers had an advantage here this week?
Well, the lefties have done very well here at the stadium, winning, I believe, every tournament the last 5 or 6 years. It's been bowled here, but in this particular tournament, and right now, you see Parker Bohn, 85 television appearances, 26 titles. Hasn't won a major, but he's trying to take care of that today. The lanes seem to be fair from left to right on the telecast today.
And he picks up the spare in the second. He has a 10-pin advantage over Tony Reyes. Now Parker has quite a cheering section. His fiancee Leslie on the right and mother Jean on the left, coming in from New Jersey.
Jean, and they're come to a lot of tournaments. Leslie is with Parker most of the time, and Jean, she loves to watch her son bowl. I don't blame her. He's a great one.
Leslie Beamish and Parker Bohn are set to get married in July.
Next month?
Next month?
Yeah. Better release, better reaction. The last shot only 26. Parker seemed to be a little careful through the ball. Leslie approves.
Well, Parker has bowled against the other 4 competitors out of our 5 finalists, and he only lost to our top seed, Jason Couch. He's beaten Tony Reyes, and right now, Reyes has had only 1 miss on this right lane.
It looked good. Trips the 4-pin. You don't see too many 4-pins being tripped back here. He's patting himself on the back as if to say, okay, I made a good shot. That's what I'm supposed to do. Ball coming in just a bit high. Watch the head pin to the sideboard. The top of the head pin just nudges over the 4.
Last 8 months, Tony Reyes' game has really picked up, especially the mental part. His swing got a little tight. He started to press, but now he's come together. He said he had an A game, but now he's added a B and a C game.
You have to be able to throw the ball straight. You have to be able to hook it a lot. You have to be able to change speeds, hand positions. Reyes has learned all of that in the past few years. Hurry.
Left lane's giving him a little trouble.
2, 4, and 10. Giving him a lot of trouble right now. You'll see the ball just not grabbing any friction off the lane. It will not crawl up into the pocket, coming in light. can pick up the split by getting his ball over to the left-hand side of the 2-pin, shoving it into the 10. Difficult, but makeable. Too far to the left.
How important is it not to give Parker Bohn any type of cushion in the early going?
Well, Parker Bohn's already confident. He knows he's a great player. He knows he's a Hall of Famer. He's got 26 titles to back it up, and the admiration of millions of fans all over the world. You just can't. You can't do that and expect to be able to win. If Reyes comes back and wins this match, it would be quite the great comeback. Parker light on this lane last time, and again.
Well, with 2 lefties left in the field, Tony Reyes is our great right hope right now. And you can see what Parker has done. Lost to Couch, his only loss in match play. Already beat Reyes 698 to 614 in the final positioning round of the tournament.
Parker just seems to be a little careful on the right-hand lane, afraid to really let it go. And, you know, sometimes when your opposition is throwing opens, you're not up there being aggressive trying to strike. You're just being careful, trying not to open. And that can, believe me, when you start bowling careful, it can lead to open frames.
You see the maximum scores, 258 to 234. 24-pin advantage right now for Parker Bohn, who's already won twice this year. Back in January, teamed with Ron Morton to win the National Senior Doubles. Also won in February in Latham, New York.
At a tournament that bared his name. Much more confident on the left-hand lane. It's kind of interesting. You know, he chose to finish on the right-hand lane. Look at the confident stroke. He gets the ball out, throws the ball around the 14 board, out to 7, bringing it back into the pocket. High flush, bowler's friend. He's thinking about the right-hand lane right now. Left-hand lane, got it taken care of. High backswing.
Tony Reyes is not out of it yet.
Now, Tony Reyes could muster up a strike here on the left-hand lane, the lane he's opened on 2 frames in a row, and then have Parker come up and not strike. He'd have a really close match.
Young man started bowling back in 1986. Both parents, he said, didn't bowl. Never had even been in a bowling center. Went in, fell in love with the sport. Also one of the many golfers on the PBA Tour, including my broadcast partner.
Well, we have to do something to bide our time when we're not bowling.
Trails by 24 pins.
Fortunate just to leave the 10-pin. That ball not thrown well, left off his hand. You know, he was so locked into this lane the last game. The lanes are really making big changes from game to game, really from shot to shot. Oil going down the lane, carry down as we call it, changing the pattern of the ball roll. Reyes finds himself at the mercy of Parker Bohn right now. If Bohn does not strike in the right-hand lane, he'll still be well into this match.
Parker Bohn has a commanding 44-pin lead, but there is still a lot of bowling left in Reno. We'll be back. Semi-final play. Parker Bohn III looking for his first win in a major. He's finished a second a couple of times in the Masters. Has a 44-pin lead here.
That's the key lane. Striking on lane 26. Building on that lead and building on his confidence.
He won the PBA Player of the Year in '99. He said his goal now is to win it twice. Jason Couch, currently the #1 player on the PBA Tour. He has his sights set on that goal. And these two just might be heading to a showdown. As Parker Bohn now still with that 44-pin advantage.
Now the top 2 players. In fact, if Bohn can win this tournament, he'll go ahead of Couch in the money list. Strikes on his good lane, or he strikes on his tough lane, then he goes back to his good lane and misses it.
The career money leaders. Wow, you made that much?
Wasn't that nice
How
of them?
come I picked up the tab at supper last night?
I thought they were only going to put the top 6 on. That was not, I gotta be nice to the producer. That's a great deal.
You do. And next time you pick up supper. he's able to pick up the spare. Lead down now to 23. Tony Reyes needs to do something and do it quickly, but is it time to panic?
Well, it's time to strike as the Bohn looks on and upset with his last shot. Take a look at the pocket percentage carry for Tony Reyes. 76% in the pocket, and his carry is 76%. Interesting stat. He needs 100% carry now.
And he gets it.
All right, going back to the left-hand lane. Yes, that's right. I need to strike here. Reyes is in the 8th frame, so he has to finish on this left lane. The max score, 214. Right now, Bohn shooting at a if he's to spare strikeout, he would shoot 207. If he strikes out, he could shoot 237, I believe. Correct? It all rides on the shot here. Very important. Stop.
Tony Reyes is alive. The heart continues to beat.
And that puts a lot of pressure on Bohn right now.
You know, Parker was talking to us yesterday, and he said, you know, during match plays, we look at Tony's reaction and little body English ups. Parker said, you know, at times during preliminary games, and also match play, it wasn't pretty. So at times he has struggled this week. So there is a possibility of him struggling again.
Struck last time on this lane. Comes in high, leaves the 6 and the 8, and that shot was just an inch away from being perfect. It just crept in just a little bit to the right.
Now the twister pins didn't twist enough for Parker.
He gets one pin. I believe they're going to be all even.
That's right.
Interesting situation. Does Parker go for this or not? I believe he's going to try and make it.
Why wouldn't he? Seriously. I mean,
well, the count could be important late in the game.
Oh my goodness.
Well, disappointment from the Bohn family. And, you know, that's really the cruelty of the sport is that you can make a shot so close to perfection and end up throwing an open frame, and then you could miss the world and get a crossover strike.
Well, Tony Reyes continues his concentration, but now Parker Bohn finds himself down by one pin.
213 max for Bohn, 214 max for Reyes. Got to be aggressive. And he wants.
That is why they have called this man a champion.
Well, big shot for Bohn in the 9th frame. Sets up the 10th frame. Much more aggressive release. Really went through the fingers hard on that shot. Last time came in light on this lane. He made sure he got the good rotation to get it up. He knows it's there.
Man that has done so much for the sport of bowling, Parker Bohn, now can only sit and watch Tony Reyes, who still only has one miss on this right leg.
He likes it. He leaves one of his own. 4 and the 9 on the same lane 26 that Parker left the 6 and the 8.
And that's what the players were talking about throughout the week, about some of these twister pins, the synthetic pins. Said that has happened a number of times.
Well, I think it could be a product of the pins. Also, it's a product of the way the lanes are rolling. And, of course, these balls are so strong, the balls go right through the pins. Has to try and make it. Has to.
Parker Bohn is now in the position to move on.
And the best that Tony Reyes can shoot is 180 for Parker Bohn. If he would get up and get 9 pins, 2 shots, he'd be the winner.
That's right.
Shannon watching on, knowing that what looked like a comeback for husband Tony now will probably be a 3rd place finish.
Tony Reyes coming from down by as many as 44 pins to make it close, but not able to close it out. In the 10th.
How disappointing. And that shot on the right-hand lane could have been just that little bit of speed, little lacking of speed. Shannon offers encouragement, and Tony not pleased.
Knowing that only 9 pins Parker Bohn needs to move on to the championship.
And that's if Reyes would get the next 2 strikes.
That's right.
Now 6-10, 3rd place finish. Still learning, getting better.
Well, he's guaranteed a check of $14,000 for 3rd place. $40,000 is the top prize. Remember this young man's name, Tony Reyes, out of San Jose, California. Finishing 3rd in the tournament in the Masters. He's very disappointed, but what a week he has had. Parker Bohn needs just 4 pins to wrap this thing up and move.
Right now, he let that 6-8 the last time on 26. He's going to make sure he makes a good shot, try and build some momentum for the next match.
The top 2 players on the PBA Tour, Parker Bohn III and Jason Couch, are set to meet in the finals of the 2001 Masters as Parker Bohn wins over Tony Reyes. Reyes checking in with a 170, but Parker Bohn wants his first major. And Jason Couch would like to add to his. Couch, Bohn next. Parker Bohn left the 6-8 twice in his last match. The second one didn't matter, so it gave him a couple of moments to joke about it. But Parker Bohn does advance to our finals as he defeats Tony Reyes. Once again, back at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Marshall Holman, Ron Coolin here with you. Our final match of the afternoon, and we can see what has happened so far. Shannon Buchan, the young amateur from Waterloo, Iowa, won in match number 1, but he lost to Tony Reyes in match number 2, and then Reyes falling to Parker Bohn in match number 3, 200 to 170, and we have Bohn versus Couch. This is style versus power. Parker Bohn with the style, Jason Couch with the power.
Soft 7 to start out the match. Really putting the ball in the pocket on this kind of a condition is so important because it's more difficult to keep yourself. It's like a major in golf. It's fairways and greens. In this tournament, it's all about hitting the pocket.
See, he's won a couple of times already this year.
Gonna hit that section in his face. His face is on the ball.
That's a good line. We get our first look at Jason Couch, the 31-year-old out of Claremont, Florida. 10 years as a touring pro, the PBA Rookie of the Year, 3 majors to his credit.
If you like high backswings, you gotta love Jason Couch. Ball goes right above his head.
Those are a lot of rotations on that ball. Here's a guy, though, Marshall. After the first round, he was 370th. He barely qualified.
Jason Couch playing further to the right, throwing it farther to the left, and then bringing it back with power. This man is strong. You know, he makes it, you were saying, he made it by 3 pins the first cut after 10 games. The 15-game cut, he made that by 3 pins. Then he got into match play, and boy, he got on a roll and started winning and developing more and more confidence.
He said he went into match play with nothing to lose, so I snuck in. Yeah! Well, we do have Jason Couch, Mike, you think? Marshall or myself. Now, one thing, when you talk to Jason and Parker, when they were bowling each other in match play, Jason told us, he said, when we bowled, we both got locked in on the exact same place to roll the ball. Very interesting that they're watching each other, both lefties.
Well, right now, Parker doesn't have the ability to make the ball turn the corner like Couch does.
Ooh, the 7-pin snuck down.
Ball coming in late. 5-pin went in front of the 10. Take a look at the all-time leaders in titles, and Parker Bohn with 26, looking to tie Mike Albee.
Look at the company he's keeping, though.
Well,
Vic Weber, Mike Albee just one away. Walter Ray Williams up there. Well, he opens up with a couple of splits. And Jason Couch opening up with a couple of strikes. Once again, Parker having success here at the Masters. Finished second in '98 to Mike Albee, the year he pulled the 300 on television.
Bohn looking for his first strike after 2 spares in the first and second frame on shots that were in the pocket. But he needs to figure out a way to make it hit that 1-2 pocket and knock all 10 down with Couch going bang, bang, double out the gate.
There we go. No disrespect to other players, but if you were teaching your young son or daughter who's a left-hander to bowl, wouldn't you show him a picture of Parker Bohn?
You better believe I would. Parker Bohn is just picturesque with his delivery. Couch, extraordinarily effective, but you can't teach this type of an athletic move that Jason Couch uses.
You can see Jason perfect 6-0, including a win over Parker Bohn, the third.
Hook.
Five pin goes to the sideboard. Head pin goes to the sideboard. Comes back, but does not knock down that 7 pin.
Third tournament in a row, he has been the #1 seed. Or the #1 player, I should say, on the PBA. Said he didn't realize how tough it was to be #1.
He was saying how he's really surprised that he ever got to #1 because, you know, Walter Ray Williams had a stranglehold on the that top position of the power rankings for years and years. And Walter started going a little bit south, and Jason went way up north.
About that, 9 PBA national titles. He has the 3 majors, the first to do back-to-backs in the Tournament of Champions in '99 and 2000. 7 of his 9 wins, he has been the #1 seed.
10 pin advantage. 6-8. 6 pin falls. Fortunate. We're seeing a lot of that. Jason knowing that he got away with a little bit of a high shot. Take a look at the head-to-head battles between Bohn and Couch. Bohn leads 5-1. Title matches, Bohn leads 2-1. So, don't worry, it will. That ball will get back to Jason Couch.
Well, he feeds off the energy in match play. He's had to learn how to harness that energy at times.
Couch going for some tape. Probably doesn't quite like the way he's got the feel of that ball feeling right now.
And he's going to do a little work on it. It's Parker Bohn now trailing by, or leading, I should say, by 11 here in the 4th. Couch will do a little work.
For the double. Slower speed. And the
one more little hit that doesn't get it.
10 pin still not cooperating. Parker thinking right now, well, what the heck do I have to do? I mean, I'm throwing the ball right where I want it. You'll see the pin, the 5 pin, everything's going to hit and go right into the 10 pin area.
It's got the wobble,
but doesn't knock it over.
So 3 out of 4 frames. Parker Bohn the third with a spare. The only strike coming in the 3rd frame. Now he trails by 9 pins. Very impressive last 5 years. 5 consecutive years. He has won at least 2 titles. I think what's most impressive about Parker Bohn as we look at the scores, 9 consecutive years plus $100,000 in earnings.
He's a bowling machine. He's got the golden arm swing and the attitude that, you know, if I had my career to do over again, which I don't, I wish I could have incorporated some of that mental toughness into my game.
There's part of it right there.
You see him staring down those pins? Okay, you better fall this time. Excellent shot from Bohn. The projection down the lane. Ball picking up a roll of 45 feet.
Well, Couch on pace for a 268. Bohn on pace for a 259.
Yes.
The energy starting to pick up here in Reno.
Couch just snaps that 7 pin out.
#1 player on the PBA Tour, over $67,000 won. Leads the tour in average at plus 226.
Can't get much better than 9 events played, 9 cashes, and 8 top 24s. Very consistent.
Man loves golf, loves bass fishing. Says he lifts weights, not heavy weights, tries to stay in the best shape he can.
Carry, baby! Yeah!
You think they ought to turn his mic down?
What? Well, Jason Couch has 2 in a row. He has a 9-pin lead over Parker Bohn, the third. But can he continue with this energy? And welcome back. Our final match from Reno, the 51st Masters, Parker Bohn, the third, and Jason Couch. Power, style. Bohn down by 9 pins.
Has yet to miss the pocket, as you see our top averagers this year. Couch 226, Bohn 223, 1 and 2. First double for Parker Bohn. There's the traditional position of Parker Bohn, and look at the high backswing and the power position of Jason Couch.
That is almost straight up and down with that left arm. Parker Bohn still down by 9 pins, pulling in the 7th.
For 3 in a row. Don't count this man out. Now all the pressure squarely back on Jason Couch's shoulders. That great delivery, the classic form, the knee bend, the projection. But by pins, right back in the match.
Couch working on 2 in a row, looking for his 3rd in a row. He has played the lanes differently almost every block this week.
Just, I'll look at you right. Almost too much power. That ball very close to leaving the solid 8. You can see, look at the camaraderie of these two friends.
Probably 5'10" now.
making a comment on how he had so much power in the last shot. Probably leave the 5'10", the weak release. Don't count on seeing the 5'10".
He's a single-digit winner right now. You can see his record as a tournament leader. What will it mean to become a double-digit winner as he's looking for his 10th?
Well, there's a big change in the way you feel about your game when you go from a 9-time champion to a 10. Very important. And to do it at the Masters, real special.
That's good right there. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. That was good. The bowler can tell off the hand. As soon as that ball is released, you really know whether you projected the shot properly.
And the pressure pendulum swings to Parker Bohn.
Look at that backswing.
How does he stand up?
That's his normal game. Watch the 4-pin, goes to the sideboard, knocks down the 10. Come on, baby. Yeah.
Gotta love Jason. Great reaction. And now Parker with 3 in a row. Still down by 9.
For Couch, he has to be aggressive. For Bohn, can't be too fast with the speed. Lets the ball hook back up to the 1-2. There we go. And that is not Parker Bohn's A game. Parker likes to throw the ball really, really hard. He's toned down his speed to give the ball a chance to hook back into the pocket. That's how the great players become even better.
This is a classic battle between these two. Both with 4 strikes in a row. Bohn in the 9th.
Bohn with a possible 259. Couch with a possible 268.
And it has been that way for a while.
Both working on 4 strikes in a row. Every strike a must strike. To keep the pressure on.
And he does.
And the stare, and then he points to the lane going, okay, your turn. I got mine. Let's see what you can do.
This is almost like a game of horse on a basketball court in a backyard. I can do that. You can do that.
His eyes squarely at Jason Couch.
That is why he has won 26 titles. Now Couch Has to focus himself.
And you can bet if Couch gets this one, he's going to give it right back to Parker to maintain his lead.
This guy walking behind the curtain.
Got a distraction. We have a curtain down the right-hand side of the lanes where we have still photographers.
Prize money, $40,000 for our champion, $20,000 for second place. Now he has to refocus. How tough is that?
Well, it can be very difficult. You know, he was set to make the shot. Has to put that all behind him. Take care of business right now. Oh my gosh, the solid 9, and cannot throw the ball any better. What a terrible break at a terribly inopportune time.
And he goes from being 9 pins up to 12 pins down.
And he made absolutely the most beautiful, high flush, perfect shot you could throw. That's one of the tough parts about this game. Solid 9 for the left-hander or the solid 8 for the right-hander.
Has to shake it off and get the spare. And he does. He has the 10th frame remaining, trailing by 12 pins.
Now 247. Now the best the Couch can shoot, and you can see how that just deflates you. His demeanor has changed measurably since before he threw that last shot.
Parker, 1 frame away from capturing his first major.
And it may have taken a very, very bad break by the opposition to give him that opportunity.
Strikes out. Bohn would only need a strike 9 spare to win.
Only?
Only. Piece of cake.
One more.
Well, you can hear Jason's one more. He's taking it one at a time. Not worrying about needing to strike out here in the 10th.
Man always had the physical tools.
Re-rack.
The mental game has come along so far in the last couple of games. He looks to the tournament director and asks for a re-rack, but was it his first order of business? I'm not sure he's going to get the re-rack.
Oh, I think in the ABC Masters you're allowed just 1.
No, they give him the re-rack, but you're supposed to look at the pins and then ask for it as your first order of business. And you know, look at the ball and take care of that, and then look at the pins.
Right.
Not supposed to get the re-rack. But he got it.
And he's ready.
Blowing out a little air.
That may do it.
Only
one bad shot. That's all.
Only one bad shot for the entire game. Couch would pick up this spare. He would force Bohn to go 9 spare strike to win, or if he threw a strike in the 10th frame, that'd be a winner as well. Bohn will still have to perform in the 10th frame.
Number 1 player on the PBA Tour, leads in just about every statistical category, can only sit and watch, and he'll look back at that 9th frame, a perfect ball, leaving the 9 pin, and then in the 10th.
A terrible spot to get a bad break like that.
Parker Bohn can get his first major right here. His 27th title at stake.
Needs at least 9 to have any chance to win. He likes it.
He has taken care of business.
And he knows how fortunate he was. Jason Couch, it'll be a second place finish. I know Parker feels for him, but Parker's job is to go up there and do the best he can every shot. That man has 3 majors. Disappointment.
This one got away.
Well, it's not. He needs 5 pins to win. We're sort of making it a formality, and it is a formality. Oh, a solid 9 for himself. Gene Bohn, very, very happy. Leslie Beamish, ecstatic. Parker Bohn satisfied with a job well done.
And Parker Bohn's name will go among the list. Aldi, Anthony, some of the great names in the history of bowling, and Parker Bohn is now one of them here at the Masters. The 51st Masters in Reno, Nevada belongs to Parker Bohn III. It is the 27th title in the Parker Bohn career, and he wins it over Jason Couch, 248-237. This is the biggest of his career as he wins the 2001 Masters. He gets the check of $40,000. It is being presented by Glenn Carano of Reno Tri Properties and the Frank K. Baker Trophy presented by J.C. Higgins, the ABC past president. Congratulations to our winner, Parker Bohn III. Just a reminder, bowling next week will be coming your way from Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the PBA Las Vegas Senior Open. Coming up next on ESPN, the Red River FLW Tour. For Marshall Holman and our entire crew in Reno, I'm Ron Thulin. Thanks for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.